Hello everyone. So for my poster presentation, I chose to do some research on Albert Bandura's social learning theory, specifically for the school-aged age range. What I found was that the researcher was Albert Bandura. His picture's on the left side of that poster. He did his research on developing the social learning theory in 1961. A lot of his research was solidified through him conducting the Bobo doll experiment to show how individuals shape their behavior based on what was modeled for them. Basically, in this experiment, children were put in a room with this clown doll, and a lady would walk in, and depending on her behavior, she would either beat up the clown doll or she would be very nice to the clown doll, but depending on her behavior depended on how the children acted toward the doll once she left the room. So the premise for this theory, according to the articles that I read, I found that the basis of Bandura's social learning theory is centered on the fact that individuals learn from each other. They do this through observing, imitating, and modeling. So basically it's like mimicking each other's behavior, so whatever's been displayed to them, they generally will act in that way. My example that I gave for this was when school-age children pretend, they can, for example, like when they're playing house, they always have certain roles, like who's going to be the mom and who's going to be the dad, and what they're going to do in those roles. So it's similar to the normal roles that they see in a household. The dual focus for the human and environment influences, so children tend to focus on themselves as individuals and their peers as well as their parents to be their role models for their behavior. So social learning is based off mimicking. Children tend to model each other's behavior or the behavior that they're exposed to. But the skills that they learn through social learning is how to act appropriately in social settings. So this is the aspect of them learning how to share. They improve their communication skills. They learn some self-control, independence, because with them being in school, they're now away from their parents for extended periods of times. They have better confidence and better relationship skills because they're building friendships. So what can encourage social learning is if they have a modeled positive attitude towards school and learning, they'll be more apt to be open to positive learning. Family interaction. So one of the articles that I had talked about efficacy and the decreased risk for at-risk youth. And basically it was the more positive interaction that the children had with their parents or other peers or role models in their life, the less likely they were to take part in risky behaviors. And then the last one is basically positive interactions. So like before, like with parents, they have to have like relatively good attention and so on. The social work implications that I found, so considering the times that we're in right now, the impact of COVID. So this isolation makes it difficult for children to have necessary interactions with their peers, which impacts their ability to gain peer-based social learning experiences. They learn how to interact through technology and are lacking the basic skills to interact with people face to face. So the social worker's role, like with the Bobo doll experiment, if there are rewards put in place, one thing a social worker could do to discourage inappropriate behavior is to begin rewarding good behavior when it's observed, which would make the children more apt to engage in a positive social learning social learning behaviors, they would be more likely to display these behaviors instead of their bad behaviors or so on. Thank you for watching my presentation.